Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. You know what? Let's start off with Jake because I feel like that's the big one that really happened today. And I don't know. Here's the thing. I know that this show has a lot of people that come and go. They're going for a little bit, they come back, and vice versa. So, in some ways, this doesn't seem out of place, but in some ways, it kind of does. Okay. So Jake got shot, and this guy, this tattoo guy, he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. You know, at some point, Ava's like, listen, if you want the ring, take the ring. He was like, oh, now I don't want it. You don't, what do you mean you don't want it? You literally put a gun on them because you wanted her jewelry, her ring. Now you don't want it? What the hell is wrong with you? Now, again, it was incredibly stupid for Jake to sit there and walk up to this guy. Okay, it was already stupid enough that he didn't want Ava. It was already stupid that he didn't want, to give up the ring because at the end of the day, you can always get another ring. You can't get back another life. So that was already stupid right there. But then this guy decides to walk up to the person who is holding a gun on you. So he gets shot. Gets shot. Eventually, Rafe and Jada, find the guy. And, because at this point, he's like, I don't want witnesses. So he's about to shoot Ava. But those two get there. And, he knows that there's two people that have guns on them. And his dumbass decided to sit there and point a gun, still having the gun at Ava, like, oh, I'm just going to sit there and shoot her anyway. So, of course, he gets shot. He's dead. They rush Jake into surgery. And at the end of the episode, Kayla comes in there and automatically I knew, you know what I'm saying? Like, I knew what she was going to say because she didn't have an expression on her face. It was very, she just didn't have an expression on her face and she didn't say anything until she walked up. And so right then and there, I knew that whatever it wasn't going to be good because if it was something good, she would have said something right off the bat, right as she was walking. She wouldn't have just walked there and stopped for a minute. So she told Ava that, listen, they tried everything that they could, but, he flatlined and they couldn't revive him. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, you know, this is. How many people we got so far that left the show? And I don't mean, well, Sammy, she comes and goes or whatever, but I mean, you had Trip that left, you had Victoria that left, Sierra, she left, you got Abby that left, you got Jake that now just died. Like, what is going on with this show? It's very alarming when you start to lose so many cast members within a few months of in that time period. And I always sit there and think back to, even Legacies. It's a supernatural show on the CW, and unfortunately, Warner Brothers is a terrible company. But they started losing people left and right. Hell, even the head writer, the producer, whatever, even before we knew the show was canceled, she was already working on another show actually on this network. So when you start to lose so many people, it gives me red flags. It feels like there's something off. Now, I could just be paranoid and whatever, just looking for something that's not there, but it just seems kind of off that many characters have left one show in such a short time. So, Jada, for her first kill, and, she's talking to Eric, and Eric is like, listen, you did what you had to do. But it doesn't feel right. She knows, logically, she knows what she had to do. But, you know, killing someone regardless isn't a good feeling. And it shows, it shows that you're a good person. Good people don't want to kill somebody, even if it's somebody who is literally the scum of the earth. They don't want to sit there and do it. Um, I feel like Nicole is going to start to have some sort of emotional trauma. Like, yeah, the sprained ankle is going to heal, but emotionally, she may be still sitting there feeling um, the after effects of that attack. Like, it is a very traumatizing thing to have somebody threaten you, to be physically assaulted, robbed. It throws your whole center off. So, you can sit there and see how she's trying to cover up. She's like, oh, let's not make a big fuss and be fine, yada, yada, yada. But, the more she's projecting this strength, the more pain that she's in internally. I have a feeling at some point she's probably going to want to talk to Kayla. Not Kayla, Marlena. I sat there and wondered just how much I was going to fast forward through the scenes with Alex damn near butt ass naked. Okay? Now, Sonny walked in and he saw Alex, and here's the thing. He was like, oh, what are you doing here? And he started hugging and everything like that. But I'm going to be completely honest. Why was he sitting there looking at him like in a sexual way? Like he looked like he was eye effing him. Okay? And that's not how you sit there and look at your sibling. You sit there and be like, oh, hey, what are you doing? Why are your clothes off? Like, he literally looked like he was checking him out. Okay? So they start hugging, they get to talking, and, he finds out reasons why he's actually in Salem. He wasn't really working out with, as far as his business partners or whatever, so he wants to take a break. Now, Bonnie comes in there and, he's all like, oh, you're the person that's responsible for my mother's death. He takes a tie. And Sonny's like, hey, listen, it wasn't her fault. And, she tries to apologize and everything like that. And really got her all scared and everything. So he throws the tie. He's all like, oh, no, it's a joke or whatever. He's like, listen, it was more of a test. And, you did worse to Sonny's mother than you did mine. So if he's defending you, then I'm not going to sit there and bother to hold a grudge. It is what it is. And, they have one good laugh. And I'm going to be completely honest. At first, I was very apprehensive about this whole, oh, I'm coming back as a new character, because in reality, that just seems pretty stupid. Okay, let's just be very clear. It's pretty dumb. Even when they used to do the whole, oh, he comes back as a twin, and it's like, but I gotta say that I really do like his character so far. Really do like his character. And he seems just like Robert described him. Not so much as, I wouldn't sit to say a Debbie Downer, but more brooding, He seems like he's more like, take life by the balls kind of guy, live in the moment kind of guy. And that's, I gotta sit there and say I'm liking his character so far. And it took Bonnie a little bit to kind of warm up, because she was like, yo, you about to sit there and take a necktie? Like, what are you about to do? But then after that, it started to get kind of inappropriate, and I was just like, all right, like, you do realize that is Justin's son that you are fondling over, okay? And once again, I don't want to sit there and play, I don't want to sit there and pull this card, but come on now. If Bonnie's daughter came in there and Justin was all over Bonnie's daughter, We all know optics, how that would look. Okay? So while this may seem like a little, oh, it's fine, yeah, I'm sitting there poking and pressing and touching, and it's like, if it was the reverse, first of all, she wouldn't be, well, she would be livid. Okay? Second of all, the viewers will be livid. They'll be sitting there calling everything from a disgusting perv and everything else. So, I said this before about the whole sexualizing him. And for the most part, I've been watching soap operas for a while. So, you know, I don't want to sit there and say it is what it is. Because in reality, when you sit there and watch things like, I don't know, Married with Children, it clearly was not what it was. Okay, that show got canceled twice because of the things that they did. Hell, even on Riverdale, when they have girls, dancing sexually and everything like that, there are people are like, oh, you're sexualizing them, you're sexualizing them. The dude's walking around with his shirt off in the middle of the living room. I guess we're just going to act like that's okay, though, right? So I don't want to sit there and say it is what it is. I don't know what to say in that situation, but Justin does come there, and Alex decides he wants to work with Sonny, and Sonny's like, all right, cool, so that should be pretty interesting. And I gotta sit there and say, except for the times where when he was Ben, he was acting super dramatic, and it was just like, yeah, this is not working. This is just not your thing. Like, you can do a lot, but being dramatic is not one of them. I accept that. Ben was still a pretty chill and interesting character. My issue was Ben and Sierra. The constant PDA, the constant all each other's faces, and it's just like, ugh, like, you feel like they're going to start having sex at any point in time. And so that's what I just, like, every time I saw Ben and Sierra on screen, I would just constantly roll my eyes. But, with this guy being here by himself, when Ben is by himself or him as this new character, I'm digging it. I'm digging it. Now, before that happens, before Ned, Justin is at the house, he's talking to Steve about Orpheus, and, Steve wants to make sure Justin isn't going to go after Orpheus. I was about to call Ned again. And they talk about the gun scene of Steve, calming him down and taking the gun from him and everything like that. And then Orpheus shows up, and Orpheus is like, hey, listen, I'm just going to cut straight to the case. Straight to the chase. I want to make sure that you're not going to go after me. And Justin explains all the reasons of why it would be a bad idea for him to go out to Orpheus. He has a good life, and Orpheus just isn't worth it. At the end of the day, Orpheus is going to sit there and meet his maker, and, Judgment Day will be when Judgment Day will be. So he leaves, and, Steve is like, you should probably just head out of town. And of course, Orpheus makes a veiled threat, like, oh, yeah, cool, I should go west. Like, Seattle West. Hey, isn't that where your family is? Stephanie and Trip and Joey. Maybe I should go out there. At that point, that's as much as a threat as you're going to get. And Steve stands up like, oh, did you just threaten me? He's like, no. I'll just, you said I should go out west, but if you think I should be here instead, then I'll be here. I'll be here instead. So, maybe I should sit there and get a job working at Brady's pub. Roman is about this whole second chance thing, so maybe I should give it a shot. Orpheus is just a great character because when he comes in, you can just feel the tension in the room. You can feel, it's like Kristen. When Kristen walks in the room, there's a certain energy that she brings that brings a certain level of tension. Where it's like the character knows that this person despises you. and they're talking to you or as civil as they can, but you know that this person wants to practically push you in traffic if they could. And I think that's what I really love about characters like Orpheus and Kristen. I mean, Janet Spears is annoying, but you do get a certain level of tension every time that she's in the room from people. Now, Rafe comes up to Abe and is like, hey, listen, I know we had our differences, but, I'm here for you. And, well, that was nice, Don't get me wrong, that was nice. I'm also just like, maybe you're not really needed here. Maybe you're not really needed here. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and try to string anything together. But if I did, you really stop to think about it. And this may be a stretch, but just follow me for a minute. Ava was feeling, she didn't want to feel like she was anyone's second, consolation prize. Jake decided to take her jewelry shopping because she didn't want to feel like a consolation prize. Because when she was with Rafe, that's what she felt like. When she was with Steve, that's what she felt like. So her last relationship, which was with Rafe, she felt like a consolation prize. She felt insecure. Now, if Rafe didn't make her feel that way, she probably wouldn't have felt that way with Jake. And Jake wouldn't have felt the need to sit there and prove something. Now, granted, I'm stringing this little theory together as far as them being there. And the reason, they just happened to be there when that gunman was there. And me kind of putting a lot of that on Rafe, that's stringing something together. Now, granted, there are a lot of factors as far as personal responsibility and things don't work out and, you can't really sit there and blame Rafe for some gunman shooting Jake. But if you were thinking emotional, irrational, I can see how somebody can sit there and come to that conclusion. So I feel like that's about it for the most part. But before I do go, I'm going to be saying this in my other reviews as well. So, how do I sit there and say it? At this point, I think everyone knows who JLJ Media is, and he's been talking about it on his show a couple of times, but me and DC Silk Sanctuary are going to be on his show tomorrow on shows called Extra Connections. He says it's supposed to air like around, well, in his time, it's going to be around 6. In our time, like New York time, it's going to be around 9. So we're going to be sitting there doing a live show. It's going to be great. I've been looking forward to doing this show for a while. For just reasons. And, even though that me and JLJ Media did a lot of times, there's certain things that we bump heads about. But I can sit there and respect his work ethic and just how far he's come in this industry. And so I think it's going to be a great talk with all three of us. And I hope everyone can sit there and join. So, like I said, it should be around 9 o'clock on Central Time and or New York time, and LA time when he's from, it's going to be around 6. But he usually does save his live shows sometimes. So I imagine, you get to sit there and watch it whenever. But I just want to put it out there. So with that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe. And I will see everyone in the next video.